Alright, so this is Algebra 2 and calculating trig ratios. This is the quick review. Alright, so a situation like this, we want the sine of 36.87 degrees. And so what is the sine? So there's a couple different ways that this can be expressed, because remember, the sine is a ratio of the opposite divided by the hypotenuse. So we take a look at our angle here, right? This is where the 36.87 is. So that's angle A. That makes the 6 the opposite side. And of course, the side across from the right angle, and the longest side is always the hypotenuse. So the sine of 36.87 is the opposite 6 divided by the hypotenuse, or 10. Or if I want to write it in decimal form, then that would be 0.6, right? 6/10 in fractional form, 0.6 in decimal form. Now, if you were to punch in the sine of 36.87 in your calculator is going to show you the ratio in decimal form. And you can see right here, oops, sorry about that. You can see right here that that's what I did. I punched in the sine of 36.87 and my calculator said 0.6000. It's again a little bit off, or the way we have it exactly, 0.6. Okay, so remember, your calculator is giving you the ratio in decimal form. That's a key concept, something you should know. So when you get a problem like this, tangent of 12, well, you should know that that's the tangent of 12 degrees. And you're just going to punch your buttons, use your tangent button first and then 12, and your calculator tells you, and I like my students to go to 4 decimal places, 0.2126. 0.2126 is the tangent of 12 degrees. All right, so you just punch in your calculator. That is the opposite over the adjacent in decimal form. Okay, great. So let's see if we can get back on track here. Okay, how about the next thing? What if you were given something like this? Cosecant of 78 degrees. Okay, well, now you have to remember that we don't have a cosecant button on our calculator. So what is the reciprocal ratio for the cosecant? And hopefully you remember it's the sine. So remember, the sine of 78 degrees will equal 1 over the cosecant of 78 degrees. Or more notably, and probably the way I should have started with, the cosecant of 78 degrees is 1 over the sine of 78 degrees. That's really what we want to punch in, because we have a sine button. All right, so I'll do the reciprocal of the sine of 78 degrees. So that's just punching that into my calculator, and I end up with 1.0223. 1.0223. All right, so in this last example, so now we want the secant of 11 degrees. And again, because I know the secant is the reciprocal of the cosine, I'm going to do 1 over the cosine of 11 degrees. All right, so cosine of 11 and then hit the reciprocal. And this ends up being 1.0187. 1.0187. Okay, so we found the ratio because we can use the cosine. All right, so calculating trig ratios. Remember, your calculator is always going to give you the ratio in decimal form.